One day, when she was 16, Art remembered her mother. It happened because Art fell down a flight of steps and hit her head on a wooden banister carved in the shape of an eagle. She sat there, dizzy, staring back up the stairs at a group of very stupid girls, all giggling and pointing, with large books ridiculously balanced on the over-curled hair that crowned their heads. And Art thought, who are they? And then she thought of a slim, strong woman, not tall, but looking taller because her legs were so long and outlined by the trousers and boots she wore. A woman with strawberry blonde hair tied back in a knot and eyes the impossible green of gooseberries. And this was Molly Faith. This was her mother. Though for 6 years Art hadn't thought of her, hadn't remembered her, this unforgettable and wonderful parent who had been a pirate captain on the high seas. Art, who just 10 minutes before had been known, and had known herself, as Miss Artemisia Fitzwilloughby Weatherhouse, shook her head. It cleared just as her memory had. She stood up. She said aloud, "The cannon blew apart. Molly's cannon she called the Duchess. That was what knocked it out of me." Art put her hand to her own carefully arranged hair. It looked, she knew, dark brown, but through it ran on the right side a fierce fox-orange shock, which had always had to be powdered over to hide it, as if it should be ashamed of itself. That orange had happened when the Duchess, or perhaps another cannon, was it, had blown up earlier, when Art was, 2, 3? Useful guns, but they had their little ways. "Are you all right, Artemisia?" cooed one of the stupid young girls, hoping she wasn't, most likely. Injury was always interesting in such a boring place. Art thought, am I? I am. She ran back up the stairs 3 at a time, and her long skirt ripped, and she didn't care. The curly girls fell back before her, and several of their books slid off and went thump onto the floor. They had all been practicing deportment, Art too. Deportment was how to walk with a completely straight neck and back, otherwise your head-balanced book fell off. Art's book had, and she had lost her footing. The odd thing was, although she partly recalled who these people were, and that this big house they were in, with its pastel walls and shiny floors, was the Angels' Academy for Young Maidens at Roehampton, near London, they were all suddenly much less real than the past she had forgotten, and which was now rattling back into her head like a runaway carriage. "Look out!" someone squeaked then. "Here comes the evil Ebel." The evil Ebel? What was that? Ah, yes. Miss Ebel was one of the Academy's teachers. The kind of teacher who never learned anything herself, or taught anything except sarcasm or fear. Here she came, round the corner of the corridor, her dress smooth as a tablecloth, fist-faced with pleased annoyance. She liked to catch you out. "Pray, what is this?" "Artemisia fell downstairs." Evil Ebel glared, first at her informant, then at Art. Art thought, do I know this woman? "You've no business, Artemisia, to fall downstairs. You are a maiden of high family. You must be graceful and feminine at all times, an ornament to your female sex. A proper lady does not fall down anything." Art stared at Miss Ebel. Then she struck a pose, There in her silly dress, Art threw back her head and rested her left hand on the hilt of the imaginary cutlass that once, 6 years back, had hung from her left hip. It had only been a small cutlass, she had only been 10, but Art could remember how good, how proper it felt. Unlike a book on your head, the cutlass balanced you just right. "Madam," said Art haughtily to the abruptly startled Miss Ebel, "what is this nonsense you're spouting like an unblocked drain?" The Ebel's mouth fell open. She locked it up again tight at once. Only one rigid announcement was let out of it. "Artemisia, I see you must be properly punished for disrespect." Art smiled. "Pooh to you, madam, I say, and pooh." The girls screamed. Books fell like noisy autumn leaves, bang, thump, crash. Down the stairs again leapt Art. She whirled across the lower landing, her head full of barking cannon, towering rigging, the creak of timbers, the voice of her mother, Molly. Before her eyes floated the golden coasts of America, Persis and Zanzibari, dolphins springing like silver bullets from the blue mouths of the waves. "Her father must be fetched," shouted Miss Ebel. "She has gone mad." "Sane," remarked Art. "Gone sane." She bowed to the eagle banister which had saved her from all this and given her back her past.